life. It's Jayson. This is my new friend, Marybeth. We are ushering a show here at the Old Globe.
Fabulous show.
Really good show. And she told me that she was in special education, and I mobbed her and said, "You've got to talk to me." And so it's a little impromptu video. Where do we start with special education? What got you into it?
Well, I moved here, left my husband, I ended up with a child and cat, and I had to make a living. So
Children and cats need support.
yeah, they do. And so I substituted for quite a while, and then I got a job in a special school. Once I got through the whole day with these high school age children with a lot of concerns, very severe. People at the office just all stopped and looked at me and laughed and said, "You're the first sub that ever stayed the whole day."
Oh my gosh. I was showing you clips from the interview I did with my deaf friend Hope. He is a very strong believer in mainstreaming, and that's what he's tried to do instead of being like in a special school and all that. Talk to me about that.
I figured it as a special day teacher, full day with all special ed classified students, that my job was to get them back out to their regular classroom. I think the object of special ed is to get them up to pace where they should be and to be able to work in a regular class.
Are there children who are so affected by a condition that they'll never be able to get up to speed in society? And what do you do with those? How do you approach those children?
Okay, I think everyone has strengths in areas and weaknesses in areas, and what I looked for when I taught was the strength of any student. And I focus on the strength, and that helped build their self-esteem.
What do people do when you say you've done this? Or
They say, "Oh, you must have a lot of patience."
do you have a lot of patience?
Well, I do now. They taught me. I didn't have it before I went into it.
Yeah.
I had to learn to be patient and take things step by step so that someone could understand and work to the point where they don't understand and then learn that part and move on. If these kids really want to be like everyone else, and they try their best to be similar to all their peers, hopefully their peers are a good example for them, because they'll imitate anything they see to try to be a part of it.
So when Justin Bieber was big, they wanted to have their hair like Justin Bieber and
Yes,
all
that kind of thing, yes.
The special education classes seem so small. They don't seem to mix with the thousands of other kids in the school. Do they meet those kids? Is it encouraged? How do they have friends outside of their classroom?
I think a lot of that has to do with the teacher of an individual class.
Okay.
And that teacher's interest in the success of these children. The school organization comes out and there's a list of, okay, every week for this month, these are the classes that are going to give change at the cafeteria.
Oh, like work shifts.
Yes,
Okay.
kind of like that. And they were just not on it. They said they couldn't do it, and I said they can.
Could they? They
Yes,
may
they
change just
did.
fine, right?
Yes, I had to teach them.
Why do you think people didn't think they could?
Because they didn't have the expectations of those students that they do for the kids that aren't in special.
Tearing up. Are there other examples of things that the school didn't think of them for?
Oh yes. Each assembly, there was a class that performed something. My class wasn't on the list. So I told them they had to be on the list, and I said they'll do fine. And the first year they were on there, I had my students do Charlie Brown's Christmas.
Charlie
And
Brown's Christmas?
The whole thing, they memorized lines, they brought in the tree. I mean, it was really fun.
That's awesome.
And then the next year, we did a magic show. And I taught them magic, and they did it. And the thing that really got the awes was a little piece of paper, lined paper. They cut it with the scissors.
Yeah.
They said, we can get our whole class to go through this paper. And they cut it to make it big enough, just the outline, and everybody walked off stage.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, they were just so excited. They made their capes and their hats and all that. Yeah, they were very proud of themselves.
They weren't proud of themselves because they were normal. They were proud of themselves
Because
because
of what
they
they
did
accomplished.
because they did accomplish, because they did a good magic show.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to tell me how the kids got into the classes. The teachers in the school didn't have time for them, is that?
They don't have enough time for 35 kids
Got it.
to take the one that doesn't make it and really move them up, because you've got the high achievers, the midline, and then you've got a whole big group of those that need this attention. The attention you give to the lower, they give the lower the group, is not enough for that child.
Gotcha.
And one of the sadder things is to tell a parent, your child isn't doing as well as we'd like to see him do. And then to test them and say, he's doing as well as
Are they
he can.
ever really surprised?
You'd be amazed. You'd be amazed. And it's heartbreaking to see them. It takes their dream away.
That their child's going to go off and
Be a president.
be president.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing with yourself nowadays? Are you still teaching or subbing?
Well, I'm on the sub list, but since I've retired, I've started getting myself more involved. I run a seniors group, and
Oh, that'll be our next interview. What do you want the takeaway to be when somebody watches this interview?
don't judge a person by their label, because that label is a diagnosis, not a judgment of their abilities.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, Jayson.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.